Hello all of you, my name is Vedesh and I am currently pursuing BTech in Electronics and Communication from GGSIP University that is situated in Delhi. And I am making this video so as to for the beginners who are entering into the world of programming. Yes, many of the students who start programming languages at first, they face a lot of problems like since students listen to the suggestions of their relatives, friends, seniors, and many others. The students don't find their own path of learning how they can learn programming in the best manner, so that they can actually enjoy programming. So for doing this, I also went through the same problem. So I found out my own learning path that I am actually going to share with you at this time. So the first programming language that is preferred for the students is the C language, and most of the colleges also teach this language to the students. But actually, when the students enter the college, they are not much interested in studying at first. Yes, this is perfectly definable. That's not a problem. But the college also doesn't teach programming in the right manner that should be taught. Some of the teachers are definitely there who teach programming in the best manner, but sometimes students face issues that they are unable to learn very much deeply in programming through their teachers. Also, because the students are not taking much part in during the first semester of the college towards learning, so that's also the case. So if you are courageous enough to take up this task, then you can definitely learn programming within 2 or 3 months easily. So the first language that I was talking about is C language. Yes, C language is very much important for all the students, for all the branches of engineering, be it computer science, IT or ECE or chemical, mechanical, all those branches. C language is preferred because the C language is the oldest language that has been developed after the BASIC, and it is still used for making different operating systems because Windows and Linux have been written in the C language. And also the students who are entering into the field of embedded systems, which is a part of electronics and computer science, also use C language to make their own software for that are to be loaded onto the microcontrollers. So that is the important of C. Now, how to begin learning the C language? The C language could be learned. At first, you have to go through some of the basic syntax from one of the famous books, that is Let Us See by Yashwant Katnekar, and you can learn the basic syntax of printing, scanning the statements, and learning about if else statements, for loops, while loops, and other statements that are available in the programming language. Now, after you gain enough experience while learning the syntax, then you actually need to practice it onto your computer. Also, you can watch different kinds of programming videos that are available, like Mr. Saurabh Shukla, the famous one. He has made complete videos in C language, C++, Java, PHP, and many other technologies. Now, you can go through those videos very much easily for learning the basic syntax. After you learn the basic syntax that I was talking about for loops and if-else statements, then you need to apply them into the real programming by just solving the basic programming questions like the star pattern, comparison, string reversal, all those problems. So you can practice those problems from the internet itself. There are multiple websites that are available, like W3 Schools, and I'm unable to remember all those names, but there are many websites that you will definitely get on Google. Now, after you learn the basic syntax very much easily, then you need to switch to structures. Structures is an important part of C language that is required for learning data structures and algorithms that I'll talk about in the upcoming part of the video. So after you gain enough experience after learning with C, the students are not very much interested in learning C language because they are actually bored by looking at the console itself sometimes. That's why some of the students switch to different technologies. Yes, it is important to learn different technologies as well, and also just not restrict to one particular language during your BTech or any degree. So the basic aim of programming is to develop different projects for the customer service and for making the task easier. That's why you need to switch to different programming languages and not just restrict to one language. Even if you're perfect in one language, then you need to develop some project based on that language. So after learning C language, then you can switch to C++, which is also an important language in the software industry. Now C++ is not a completely object-oriented programming language, but Java and C#, these languages are purely object-oriented. You need to learn the object-oriented concepts by yourself, because yes, no one is going to teach you, but you yourself are going to teach yourself. So you need to develop the skills of teaching yourself. Self-teaching is very much important. Many of the students, I know that they have cleared JEE Mains and different kinds of engineering entrance examinations, and they just need to keep up the spirit that they can do it. And yes, programming can be easily learned. This is one of the easiest thing that a person can learn quickly. So yes, after now switching to the C++, you have to learn the object-oriented concepts, different abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, all those concepts. And once you are comfortable while working with C++ language, then you need to learn data structures and algorithms. Yes, data structures and algorithms is the skill that is required for most of the software developers and even the embedded experts, because this concept teaches you how to develop your code efficiently and in a structured manner, so that you are able to resolve the bugs that are present in your code in the least time. And also, you have, in the real world, the problems are very much complex while dealing in software industry. So for getting the solution of those problems, you have to learn data structures, because the data is organized in such a complex manner that even the beginner can't just solve those problems at first just with some basic syntax. So you have to learn this data structures and algorithms. Now, the topics that are included in data structure and algorithms are data structures like linked list, queues, stacks, hashing, graph, and binary trees, heaps, all those concepts. Now coming to algorithms have different kinds like searching, sorting, bit, greedy, and a lot more. And graph algorithms also. Yes, there are many algorithms that you have to learn by yourself at first. You can just start by the searching algorithms that are available, and you have to make the codes yourself. In data structures and algorithm, both of them, you have to make the codes by yourself. Just even if you're doing it once, that's not a problem. But just you need to keep on revising those codes, revising those concepts that you have learned, because you have to remember those concepts throughout your career. So after you gain the skill, data structure and algorithms, then you can definitely solve most of the programming questions from the programming websites like CodeChef, Geeks for Geeks, and HackerRank. And it is very much easy to solve those questions after learning this skill, because most of the students in India are unable to afford the heavy fees of coaching institutes. So for learning it in the easiest way, you have to make up your mind that you have to learn programming by yourself, because self-teaching is an important skill that is needed by everyone, by every student pursuing any degree. Now after you become after learning this data structure and algorithms, you will definitely be able to solve most of programming questions from different websites, and this skill will take about 2 months or 2.5 months to learn data structures and algorithms. Not completely, but you have to keep on practicing. So with practice, it would take about 3 to 4 months. Yes, because it is too complex and someone can also I'm not telling you the exact amount of time that is required to learn this skill, but anyone can learn the skill if he is smart enough and he is able to solve this problems in a quicker manner while learning data structure algorithms. It can be definitely covered within a short duration of time. It depends from person to person. Now, after learning these skills, then you can easily switch to different kinds of technologies. Even if you have switched earlier, that's not a problem, but I was just emphasizing upon this concept of data structure algorithm that you have to learn. So after learning this concept, then you can switch to different technologies like web, Android, or you want to go for app development like by the use of Xamarin using .NET framework, and game development by using Unity, and any other project. Now the thing which matters in the most is your projects. The projects that you are going to develop, you have to develop them by yourselves. Yes, and for developing those projects, you have to be a persistence performer in programming, because for every project that you make, you have to write its source code by yourself, and the idea should be original by yourself. Just you just don't need to copy the projects that are available in the market. You have to be sure that you are analyzing the situation by yourself. You are just finding some problem in the society and you are making its code in form of app or a website or anything else. So, and while developing projects, you need to make sure that you are completely focused on that project at that particular time, because that is going to be reflected in your CV and when you sit for programming interviews, because the employer is going to ask you upon your projects plus the data structure and algorithm skill as well. So this was all about how to learn programming, and then you can switch to many languages like Python. Yes, I forgot to mention Python. Python is one of the languages becoming famous nowadays for machine learning and data analysis, along with that language. What is it called? Okay, forget about it. So, and Hadoop, yes, Hadoop. It's required for big data. So these are some of the programming languages that are required so that you can excel into the world of programming and make a stable career. So thank you so much for sharing my experience with you, and definitely by learning these skills in the least required time, you will definitely become a good programmer, even if you are a beginner. Just you need to keep up the spirit and be courageous enough. Even though you are not you are unable to afford the high fees of the coaching institute, you can learn by yourself. Just be focused and don't just delay the work day by day. You have to avoid procrastination during this time and be focused. That's all is required to enter into the field of programming. Thank you so much.